Okay, guys, we are live. तो I'll share you the YouTube live link है ना, वहाँ से आप चैट्स देख सकते हो.
या कूल मेरे पास लिंक है एंड यूट्यूब पे भी लाइव है. वी विल जस्ट वेट फॉर अ फ्यू मिनट्स बिफोर वी स्टार्ट. Hello everyone. We'll just wait for a few minutes before we start with this session. Meanwhile, if there are any queries that you want us to answer, like to begin with, please drop them in the comments below. Okay, so hello everyone. We are from XLRI Jamshedpur. I'm Kanishk, and today on this session we will be going through like some of the queries related to XAT or XLRI or anything regarding your B school prep that you might have. So firstly, we have Jeet with us. Jeet,
Hello.
yeah. Jeet, can you just tell something about yourself?
Okay. Hi, guys. So, just a brief introduction about myself. My name is Jeet, and I'm a first year business management student at XLRI Jamshedpur. Before this, so I'm a fresher. I just completed my BTech in 2024 from Mumbai. So, I got a 99.6 in XAT, and VLR was my favorite section. And I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have about all these entrance exams or life at XLRI, anything you guys want.
Next, we have Yashvir with us.
Hey guys, so much like Jeet, I'm a first year student at XLRI under the business management program. So before XLRI, I did my computer science, BTech in computer science from Manipal University in Jaipur. Post that, I worked for 2 years at Dell. And then when it came to CAT, I scored a 99.41 and I scored 99.1 in XAT. So I'm happy to answer any queries you all have.
Okay, cool. So I'll just start with some of the basic queries that we have been getting over the past few days right at this point. Firstly, I'll go with Jeet. What exactly was your plan of action after CAT was over? Like assuming it went good or assuming it went bad, whatever. Like, how was your situation like?
Um, so my CAT didn't go very well. I mean, I got 98.6, but as a fresher engineer male, it was very, I mean, there was no chance for me to get into a college of my choice. So after that, I actually basically did not stress out a lot because I think that was a paper that I was little confident about because of the time duration. It's a very long paper, you have a lot of time, and what had actually created trouble for me in CAT was the time limit. So I focused on mocks because I think in the last month, doing new topics or practicing more and more will not help you as much as taking mocks and understanding the pattern of the exam. So I focused on taking mocks and improving my score day after day. Apart from that, I was a little weak in the DM section because it was something I had not encountered before. So I focused on taking sectionals of DM, a lot of sectionals of DM, and all the past year papers, decision making I solved. So that was the strategy I adopted just after CAT. It was just 1 month, so that was all I did.
What about you, Yashvir? Like similar lines or like I
It
think your
was
CAT was really good. So
Yeah, it was very similar to Jeep. I was pretty comfortable with QA and VLR, but I had to focus on DM a lot. So I prepared with a lot of mocks for especially for the DM section. So once I got a little comfortable, I understood the logic behind the DM section, what answers I should give, and how should I approach the questions. I started giving entire full mocks. Sorry, this cold is getting to me. So I started giving full mocks for that. I started doing PYQs. I started doing I like bought a pack of mocks from iQUANTA itself, and that really helped me. So it was all just mocks after CAT.
Fair enough. So, like, I'll start taking a few questions from the chat that we have. Like, there is one question from Akhil Jayan. I'm preparing quant from scratch. Can you please suggest me some relevant topics and materials? So, like, any one of you who would want to take that, like, especially for someone who is starting directly from scratch right now.
Uh, Yashvi, you'll take that or I'll answer?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say just focus on the major topics. Like, so for me, those were three major ones. That was algebra, geometry, and number system. So these were three weak topics for me. And I knew I could, even with a little preparation, if I devote less time to other sections, I can still handle those. But these three were, the ones that I had to really focus on. So what I did was I just grabbed one of the books, one of the question bank books, spent about 3 to 4 hours every day doing questions on these topics, divided them into amateur questions to intermediate questions to hard questions, and created a plan on I'll spend about an hour on the amateur questions, 2 hours on the intermediate, and another hour on the hard questions, for at least for these topics. So it's really about identifying what your weak spots in QA are, because I think less than a month is left, and you cannot go through the entire syllabus during this time. So identify your weak topics, focus on those, and play to your strengths. You know what your strength topics are, you know what your weak topics are. G, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think if you're starting from scratch with 1 month left, the best thing to do would be to cover as much arithmetic as possible. Because a lot of questions are basically based on practice, like work time, and they'll give you basic questions. And I was very, very weak at QADI. Not very, very weak, but I was pretty weak at QADI, and I was very bad at geometry. So I'd completely left all the geometry questions, and I'd focus very much on arithmetic. So if that's something that works for you, if you want to practice arithmetic, you can do that from all those books and all the coaching material that you guys have.
Yeah. One question that we have specifically for Jeet is from Aditya Jain. He is asking, as you mentioned, your favorite section was VALR. How do you suggest someone approaching that while prepping?
Yeah, I think there are basically two kinds of people who are preparing for VLR, right? People who read a lot. So people who have been reading a lot usually find VLR easier. People who have not read a lot, like I had let go of my habit of reading into my engineering. So what I used to do is first thing, towards the end, VLR gets all about practice. Your reading speed needs to be high for CAT, not particularly for that. For that, you need to kind of read between the lines in VLR, and that you will get only through more and more practice. So I would recommend for VLR, you need to do as many sectionals as possible and as many past year papers as possible. Don't worry too much about the time, but kind of understand what kind of questions are asked, right? Another thing in that is poems. They ask two poems, and those poems are, I mean, they can be very easily scoring if you have practiced it enough. So towards the end, I wouldn't say in the last 1 month, I can't tell anybody to cultivate a habit of reading or read newspapers and all. In the end, just practice as many VLR questions from past years, mocks, and sectionals as you can.
Understood. Next question I think we have is for Yashvir. Which mocks did you guys find helpful for that specifically? Like any mock series that you guys gave or were attempting?
So I bought I think it was a 10 to 20 mock pack from iQUANTA itself. So I did for CAT as well as that. So for CAT, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. The level that I got from these iQUANTA mocks were absolutely the same as I encountered during CAT. I would say that last time was a little easier than the mocks that I gave. So I mean, if you want to go for iQUANTA mocks, just go for it because they have the best series out there.
Next question I think we have is how many mocks did you guys give while appearing for that? Like if I can just give you my number, I think it was around 10 mocks at best. Like I had completed a lot of my mock preparation with CAT, so I was in the test giving zone at that point. However, when it came to that, I focused a little bit more on the DM section specifically because it was a kind of a new section for me. And I tried to give sectional mocks more there. So what was your strategy like? Uh,
So,
Okay.
okay, so I'll go first. So,
Uh,
so DM was an overkill for me. I gave like 30 to 40 sectional mocks when it came to DM because, as I mentioned before, right, I was comfortable with QA and VLR. I'd done that through my CAT preparation. So I fully focused on DM for about a week or so, gave out 30 to 40 sectional mocks. And as for the full mocks, I think, yeah, it was about 5 to 6 when it came to the full mocks. So if you have good CAT preparation, you won't need to give as many full mocks, but I would say just focus on the DM section because that's where the difference lies, right? So
Yeah, I also didn't give too many mocks. I gave like eight mocks maybe in the 1 month. Because I think more time has to be spent on analyzing those mocks and where you went wrong and all those things. So 8 mocks and lot of sectionals of DMS. Yashvi said I focus on that.
The next question that I have is for everyone here. What was your strategy when it came to time management at XAT? Because like there are no sectional time limits. So how did you divide your time? Was it the weaker section first? Was it the strongest suit first? Like how did you guys go about it? Jeet, if you can take that one up.
Can you please repeat your question?
Yeah, like I was just asking, what was your strategy when it came to time management for that? Like, how did you divide your time between each and every section? Like, did you attempt the strongest section first or kept the weakest for first? Like, how was your thing? Like,
I used to always attempt my strongest section first. I used to go for VLR first, then DM, and then QADI. Okay. So, because of that, I think in the beginning it builds up confidence. And like in the beginning, if you attempt a weak section of yours, it's pretty difficult to come back if it does not go very well. And for time management, I don't remember the exact time split I used to do, but VLR used to get over pretty fast, and so did DM because luckily I had a good reading speed, so I used to read through the passages very fast, and I used to give a lot of time to QADI because I was not good at it. So I think if you guys are going to solve your stronger sections earlier, then it is very important for you to do it as fast as possible and leave as much time as possible for your weaker sections. That's how I prefer to go about it.
Yashvir?
So I didn't have that strategy of attempting my weaker or stronger section first. So I just followed the CAT pattern. So I think the first one was verbal. Second used to be your data interpretation. Third was QA. So that's what I followed in XAT as well. And now instead of data interpretation, I swapped that with DM. I started off with VLR, and you just have to rip through VLR. Uh, yeah, even I don't remember how much time it took, but it was definitely less than about 40 to 50 minutes. And again, you rip through DM. DM gets over pretty quickly. It's either yes or no, right? Once you figure out what the answers are, you can do it pretty quickly. And as Jeet said, QA takes a lot of time. So ensure you have that time in the bank when it comes to QA. Because in XAT, QA can be tricky. In fact, I found it a lot more trickier than CAT. So, like, just ensure you do your VLR and DM pretty quickly. Practice those hard so that you're done with those quickly. And, ensure there's a lot of time for QA.
Sure. And like I think this question I think is for the entire panel again. How to prepare for decision making section. Like I think we have constantly reiterated that the only differentiating factor for that is the DM section. So what was your strategy like? Like again going with Yashvir first.
Practice, practice, practice. So, one thing that you'll get after you practice is you'll know the pattern. You'll know what XLI is looking for, right? You know what the exam takers are looking from you. So just go in there without any emotions. There will be many emotional answers that you can give. So you need to take your decision without any emotions. You need to take your decision as if you're a business leader. You should be ethical, you should be right, you should be moral. Obviously, that's one point. So, for example, I vaguely remember one question where you were supposed to be a physics teacher and you were going to give an individual assignment to everyone. But three people came up to you and they said, we want to do it as a group assignment because we want to learn how to work in a team. So you agree. And then the next a week or so later, they come up to you and they say, "Ki one of our team members has gotten really sick. Now we cannot work as a team. It's just two of us. So can you just allow us to do our individual assignments again?" So now you had a bunch of decisions there that do you allow them to do the individual assignments? Do you grade them, better than the others, or let them be a team without the third member? Now, the answer to that will be, you let them be as a team because they wanted to learn working in a team. And part of working in a team is basically, dealing with situations such as these. What if your resources get cut down? What would you do then? So, if you went with the emotions, you would be like, okay, let them do it individually, but that would be the wrong answer. So, just go in there without any emotions, do what's right, act as a business leader. That's what DM is all about.
Very well said. Like Jeet, anything that you can say?
Sorry. Yashvin is exactly right. I mean, there are a lot of questions where you think that maybe this is the right course of action based on emotions or based on being a nice person, but you have to go by two things: ethics and business decision making. See, it should not be unethical, but it can be a little. I mean, like ethics is different from being a nice guy. So don't go in there trying to be a nice guy and be like, I'll do this option because I'm so nice and all. You have to go by ethics and business decision making, and it's very important. That is why it's all about practice, right? More you see past year questions, more you'll understand that what you think is the correct answer might not be the correct answer. Like Yashvir had given an example, this year, last year in that, there was this one DM paragraph about basically domestic helps who have been stealing from their who have been accused of stealing from their houses where they're working. So how would you as a secretary deal with this? And one of the options was that they can be checked every day. They can be checked after their they can be physically checked by the security guards while they are leaving the houses. And I had thought that that's not right because it kind of infringes upon their dignity and their rights and all that. And that's why I picked another option. But that was one of the correct options because it was better than all the other options and it was the best in a business decision context. So yeah, exactly, it's all about practice. Look at last year questions, you'll understand what XLRI, I mean what that expects from you.
Yeah, and like if I can just add on this, make sure that you are staying within the purview of the case. There will be a couple of options which will go outside of the question stem. Try to avoid going for those answers. Like one of the good things about that is that like there are like two to three options which will be eliminated directly as you see them because of like absurdity or being out of the scope of the question. Try to avoid those. And out of the remaining options, go for the best possible answer, not the best answer, but the best possible answer, given the context of the case. That is something that I think everyone can agree upon. Uh, like there are a couple of people who are asking for like how many total hours did you prepare for that, excluding cat, just a ballpark number. Like if you guys have any number of that sort in your mind. Like personally, if I could say, like I have genuinely no clue because like the sectional timings would just go away like here and there. I have genuinely no clue there.
Yeah, I don't think I ever kept a track.
Yeah.
But just for a ballpark, if I did about 30 mocks of DM, I spent about half an hour on those. And then to analyze, you would need at least 2 to 3 hours to properly analyze, right down to the last detail, all of your mocks. So even if I gave 6 mocks, analyzing those for 2 to 3 hours, and then practicing Q&A and BLR questions here and there. Uh, so if even if a ballpark number of, if I spent about 100 hours on XAT preparation, 80 hours of those 100 hours are spent on DM. So yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact number of how much time I spent though.
Yeah, I also have no clue how much I must have spent. But again, as Yashvi said, major chunk was only analysis. Because test to 3 hours, 3 hours mock, and a 3 hours mock should ideally take you around 5 to 6 hours to analyze. Because analysis is also about solving the sums again, right? Even the ones that you have gotten correct, you need to see whether you did it in the right amount of time. Not so much in that, I would say, because again, very long paper. But in QADI, you need to look at time as well because the DI sections can be pretty lengthy. Last year, they were at least. And yeah, DM, you need to analyze very properly and read each option carefully even after you're done with the mock during analysis. Go through each option carefully. Think about why this shouldn't be the correct answer. Elimination is the more important part in DM, honestly, than actually getting the right answer. Eliminate the wrong answers and you reach there. So, yeah.
I think one of the next questions that we have is focus on the QADI section specifically. It is regarding what topics would you recommend for someone who wants to just clear the cutoff. Again, they are not trying to aim for the 99 percentile or 100 percentile in the QADI section, but just want to, just aiming at cutting the cutoff. Like if I recall correctly, algebra and arithmetic, those were
Yeah,
the two killer ones for me.
I would even add number systems to it. Number system, arithmetic, algebra, that's it.
That's it. I think like those should be more
I
than
think
enough.
you just need to do those three things to clear, not only clear the cutoff. If you do those three things very well, you'll clear a 95 percentile. Because
Yeah,
I'll tell
actually.
you that the section is very low scoring, na QADI. So if you're good at even two sections out of these four, which is arithmetic, algebra, geometry, and one more I don't
Number
remember.
systems.
Some DI obviously.
Yeah,
So each in out of these four, if you're good at two, you are very good and you practice it very well, you will cross a 95 percentile, not only cutoff. If you just want to
definitely.
clear the cutoff, then one section needs to be perfect.
And also at the same time, you need to solve the set of questions as well. Like
Huh.
don't skip out on a question just because you are not aware about what the topic is like. There might be a case where there are easy questions on geometry, where there are easy questions on arithmetic, and just because you have not prepared for it, you just leave it completely. Please don't make that mistake. Uh, okay, like a couple of questions are focused upon like what was your thinking for someone like what would you say to someone who had a very horrible cat? Like if I can speak from my personal experience, I had a terrible cat. I don't remember what I scored. However, like when it comes to that, you just need to approach it like any other examination out there. Just make sure that you're not letting your foot off the pedal and you're going for like going after it just like any other exam. There will be a lot of people who have completely left the preparation in view of a very good cat or in view of a very good like a very bad cat, like they are completely demotivated. So don't let your foot off the pedal at this point. Just try to go and like give your best shot at it. Like anything if you guys want to add
Yeah,
to
I
that.
mean, I know a
Yeah,
lot of people, and I'm sure you guys would agree. I know a lot of people whose cat went horribly, but they nailed that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, cat is just one day, man. Like, a lot of it also depends on luck. One bad day shouldn't, get you down. So just keep preparing, and yeah, you can still nail that.
exactly. Same happened with me. Like Kanishk, cat obviously didn't go very well, and I was pretty devastated after that. I mean, like somebody had written. I think I was just reading the comments that like you lose a little bit of motivation. That happens, but you just need to pull your socks up and realize that it was just one day. And again, it's just an exam in the end. So be as cool as possible. It's a 3 hour exam. I think three and a half. I don't remember the actual time. 3.5 hour exam. Something you need to stay calm and composed during the whole exam. So treat it just like another day, another exam, and just practice as much as you can. And don't let cat affect you. It's a completely different exam, a completely different skill only which is being tested because there you are tested how fast you can solve. And there's the whole other section of LR, what LRDI and DILR, what section that is, and that is a different like beast to tackle for a lot of people. Here you don't have that. Here you have LRDI here is distributed between VALR and QADI, and it's very easy compared to CAT. So just stay calm and you'll ace it.
Understood. Like there is one question from Ananya, who wanted to ask, as interviews are also coming along, I was planning on focusing on my current affairs for the GDPI and that as well. So what can you suggest regarding that? When it comes to like GDPI, what was your action plan after like CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, and everything else is over? What was your action plan for that?
Uh, I didn't have much of a plan for GDPI actually, but if I had to have a good plan, because XLRI was my only legit call, so I prepared specifically for that. For that, I think the best thing you can do is mock interviews from whatever coaching you are taking. So I think iQUANTA has great mock interviews, GDPI plans, so you can go with that. Any coaching class you want. Then you can reach out to any seniors from your college or people you know from Excel to help make them take a mock interview. The more you take mock interviews, you'll understand any problems you might have with your communication skills or any lacks of knowledge you have, and then you can cover it up. And general thing would be updated with current affairs, and be very sure about what you're saying, right? So in your introduction, if you just, for example, if you're a computer engineer and you just use a random term like big data, you should know what big data is, and you should have in-depth knowledge about every word that you say in a GDPI, especially for that, because ZAD interviews are known to be like, I mean, XLRI interviews are known to be very probing. But right now, I think focus on that. Don't worry about GDPI for the next 1 month.
Yeah, I mean, Jeet is absolutely right. GDPI जब आएगा तब देखेंगे.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think my strategy was focusing on four major areas. I divided my prep in four areas. So one would be obviously current affairs. Just read up everything you can that has happened in the last 2 months. अभी जैसे US elections हुई हैं, you know a lot of questions might be around that. And whatever happens in the next 2 months, because interviews start from mid-Feb onwards. So just keep an eye out on the news. That was the first one. Second, I would say, be thorough with your background, whether it's your undergrad or your work experience. That's something that, people who are taking the interviews, the colleges really focus on. So if you have work-ex, you steer your interview around your work-ex, because obviously everyone is quite thorough with their work-ex. But if you're not able to do that, be thorough with your undergrad as well. Not thorough, thorough with the basics of your undergrad. Just for an example, like मेरा CS background है, so I prepared object-oriented programming. I prepared, your operating system concepts, so stuff like that. Third would be your BQs, definitely. So you should have your template of why MBA, my strengths and weaknesses, stuff like that. Have a good introduction about yourself, because that's वहाँ के hooks will determine how your interview goes. And to develop those hooks, obviously, as Jeet mentioned, you would need mock interviews. So like seek guidance, seek input, seek feedback, and develop those hooks so that you can steer your interview to a place where you want it to go. And last but not the least, a lot of colleges will ask you which specialization are you targeting. So don't be generic. Try करना कि you know why you want to do an MBA. For example, if you want to go into Prodman, have some basic Prodman concepts ready. They will ask you questions on that. If you want to go into marketing, have some basic marketing concepts ready to answer. Yeah, so focus on these four areas for GDPI, and I think you'll be good.
Like, I don't think we could have summed it any better for that particular question. However, just to build on this, like, what was your did you have any plan for the GK section in the like GK plus essay wala thing? Like, did you have anything prepared for that? Were you constantly reading newspapers or articles or anything of that sort? If you can
No, from
speak.
my side, honestly, I mean, GK's percentile is not a very very big deciding factor. From what I know, obviously I can't confirm that. From what I know, GK specifically for GK, just read the newspapers, man. If you read the newspapers, then it will also help you with your VLR. It will also help you with the GDPI prep and GK भी help हो जाएगा. So it will be like three birds with one stone. So keep updated with the newspapers. Otherwise, don't stress about GK at all. Just go. If it comes to the end of the paper, just write a good essay though. I've heard the essay is evaluated. So write a good essay. But don't worry too much about GK from what you know, from what you have read in history and all in your schooling days or in your bachelor's, whatever degree you have done, plus your newspapers, that would be enough to sail you through GK. So not a big issue.
Like if I can just make one, like just adding on one thing, like this year the essay will be taken during the GDPI wala thing. Like before the GDPI, there will be like a written ability test where you have to write an essay or something. That will be taken up there, and it's instead of going for like this time it's going to be like a 10-minute GK section, 20 questions just after your main questions are done. So make sure that you're aware about and there is absolutely no need to stress about the GK section of the XLRI thing. There are going to be 12, from what I have heard, there are going to be 12 questions or so on current affairs and 8 on static GK. Like static GK can be literally anything and everything. So there's absolutely like I don't think a way for you to prepare that. However, just focus on like the results of Olympics or like the World Cup, who won, where were the matches played, not just the country but the city in which the final was played, and all those things. Those I think should be more than enough. Yeah, and like then there are questions on like, okay, there are a couple of questions regarding your blueprint for how to crack that in less than a month now. Like, if anyone wants to like summarize like legit everything that we have spoken about.
Yeah, I think we covered this earlier, right? So 1 month is, I think I can see another question, is 1 month enough for that? It's more than enough. If like especially if you prepared for CAT, 1 month is a long time. The blueprint, I think we have reiterated this over and over again. DM. Go just do DM section. QA and LRDI, मतलब not LRDI, VALR. You don't need to focus on it as much because it's very similar to CAT. So मतलब DM is something entirely new. So just focus on DM and figure out your weak points that in QA and VLR जो तुम्हारे CAT में थे, and just try to polish those off.
Exactly same. Like just and more importantly, I think 1 month. It's the last 1 month. Just practice as much as you can and be calm. I think the one thing that worked for me was being calm. I was actually more prepared for CAT than I was for that. But I stressed out a lot. Don't stress out. Be chill. And अच्छा ही जाएगा. I mean, most of you guys have prepared very well for CAT, and you just need to not give up in the last month. Just 1 month more. So that's the blueprint, I think, and as very well summarized by Ashwin.
Yeah, like couldn't agree more with what they have said. Like it's the last month. Like I know, like all your months of hard work has been was culminated at CAT. However, just don't let it go at this point. There's just like 1 month more, and if you just like, prepare like a little bit more, I think that can be cleared very easily and it's because it's very similar to CAT in a lot of aspects in terms of at least the competencies which are checked. So, like if you are very well prepared for CAT, go ahead, continue with your prep. If you haven't and you're starting from scratch for that, like just go about it like similar to any other examination that you would. Then like I think we'll just sum up with like a one question that I have from my end. How has like the 6 months been for you at XLRI, the last 6 months? Like not as like this is not like related to that or anything, but just as a motivating factor or like just as a random question from my end to you.
Um, it has been amazing, I think. I mean, 6 months have been very different for me, particularly because it's the first time I've stayed out of my house. Like, I was a fresher, obviously, when I came here. It's a very beautiful experience. It's extremely stressful as well, especially the first term. First term, your SIPs and then your ACADs. The first time you are staying away from, you are basically learning to adjust to the MBA life. You will lose a lot of sleep, but I think it will all be worth it. It will be fun. Even the second term, I think we just had a amazing cultural festival. EV, where we had Vishal Shekhar perform, and so that was something that we really enjoyed. So it's a great experience here at XLRI, and best of luck everybody for your ZAT. Hope to see a few of you next year. So best of luck.
Yeah, I mean, 6 months really flew by, didn't they? It seems
Yeah.
like I just arrived at XI last month. But yeah, it's been really fun. And stress is part of that fun. पहले 3-4 महीने it will be very very stressful. Immediately SIPs will be on your face. You'll start preparing for your you start preparing your CVs, CV verification, and then so many case preparations. So I mean, वो पहले 3-4 महीने it will be very stressful. You'll lose a lot of sleep, but then like it's part of the culture. And once that is done, that's when the real fun begins. You'll be into your committees, अपना committee work करोगे, you'll be conducting events, you'll be like going to a lot of events, especially in the second term. So that will be insanely fun. Uh, Now, in the last 6 months have been even more special for me because I lost a lot during my undergrad. So I lost about 2.5 years of college life due to COVID. So, these last 6 months have more than made up for that. It's been an incredible college experience.
Yeah, and like just if I could add, like whatever you guys have just said, yes, like these 6 months have been sort of life changing and life altering in many, many aspects. Be it the experiences that we have gained, be it the stressful environments that we have been actually put in, and like just asked to thrive, like and come even brighter on the other side. That is something that that can be true for like legit everyone at any B school right now. Another thing is that there's a saying like 70% of your MBA is covered after the first term, because that is when you learn how to actually cope up with multiple deadlines at the same time. You actually learn how to cope up with the SIP stress. You are actually placed at that point, and everything is just like rushing through your head all at once. So, like just saying, it's gonna be like a really really fun ride. And hope to see you. Hope you guys make it, and we can actually meet here in person. Finally, I just take like one parting question. There was someone who texted that I am getting 99.5 in ZAT. Sorry, 99.5 in CAT. Should I actually attempt that? I think only Yashvir can answer that, who has actually scored well in CAT. So,
I got 99.4. I didn't get a call from the top six. So, I mean, definitely you should give that because you never know. मतलब अपने जितने options you can broaden when it comes to MBA courses, do that and treat it as a very important exam. Doesn't matter like if your cat went well or not. I thought my cat went well, but like none of the black eyes called me. So yeah, definitely you should give it seriously.
and like if I can just add on to that, if you clear the basic sectional cutoffs and the overall cutoff in ZAT, you are guaranteed an interview call at XLRI. So, like, be it BM or HRM. So, like, just ensure that you're not skipping out on such a great opportunity because something went well already. It's best to have all, like, maximum doors open at every single point.
Just to add to that, XLRI is extremely open. So as Kanish said, uh, you might not have gotten a 99 point, I mean, you might have gotten a 99.5 CAT and not receive a call from any top 10 IIMs. But you might actually get a 97 or a 96.5 in ZAT, and you might receive a call at XLRI Jamshedpur, interview call and a convert. So give that very seriously. And you guys know how good XLRI is. So however much your score is or however less your score is in CAT, that is an opportunity that you should not let go of.
Yeah. And like, I think we can come to a closing for this session. Like, if there's any final words for you guys have for anyone who's listening or anyone who's actually eyeing ZAT and XLRI, anything that you would like to say? Yashvir and Jeet maybe next.
Just that it'll all work out. I know it's a very stressful time for you guys, and it'll turn even more stressful when once the interview starts. But honestly, it'll turn out well for each and every one of you. So I mean, all the best and do your best.
Yeah, same, exactly. I mean, it's all gonna be chill, bhai. Matlab, it is more important for you guys to stay calm and confident and it's all going to work out very well. It's going to be extremely stressful as well, as Yashvi said, but in the end, I think it is just an exam, and these colleges are just colleges. So just stay calm and enjoy the process. So yeah, best of luck.
Yeah, and if I can just sum it up, like sum the entire session up, I know this time is very, very stressful. Trust me, we have all been through that. Like just after like CAT getting your raw score and like wondering what your percentile is gonna be like. I know like you're riding high on emotions right now. Plus, just make sure that you're putting all those efforts at the right place and are actually attempting your heart out with that. Trust me, it's a great examination. It's a very student-friendly examination, and would love to see you on the other side. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All the best.
All the best.